Hey friends, welcome to your Aquarius season readings for the collective. If you are new here, these readings are done by zodiac sign elements. So for this reading, we start with air signs, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, and then earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, water signs, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, and then fire signs, Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries. So there are many different ways to utilize this reading and listen to it. You can just listen to the entire thing and take whatever messages resonate and leave the rest. That's a great way to listen to it. You can listen specifically for your sun signs element. I always suggest listening for your rising sign, or if you're wanting to know about a particular part of your life, house, money, career, mom, relationships, whatever it is, you can look for the specific house or the specific planet and see what element that sign is in and listen to it that way. Also, make sure to check out my January season readings. And remember, whenever this reading found you, more than likely there's something in here that you need to hear. So let's get started. We are going to do air, earth, water, and then fire. All right, in honor of our beloved Aquarius for Aquarius season, we are starting off with air signs. So Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. I am outside, as you can see, and the cards are not listening to me because the element air keeps moving her. So anyways, the hanged one, the hanged man. For those of you wondering, I'm using the Modern Witch Tarot deck. So, there's many meanings to this card. It's about pausing. It's about surrendering. It's about, a change of perspective. But the thing that always sticks out with this card for me, air signs, is the fact that this is chosen. This is a chosen moment of rest. And what I'm really getting more now is the idea of the calm after the storm and choosing to slow things down, choosing to pause, choosing to surrender. This is a major arcana card. I feel like this card has been coming up in every collective reading I've done in one way or another, because I think that with the way that society is, this go, 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 do, externally, also like internally, the way that our thoughts work, I don't have an anxious mind, as in I'm not like fear-based in my thoughts per se. It's more like it just doesn't stop, right? Like I go to bed and my brain's like, oh, like what are we gonna pack to take on this trip in 2 fucking weeks? You know what I mean? So like, it's like every aspect of society with social media and jobs and just people and everything. It's like it tells us to just constantly be going, right? So it is such an important reminder that we need to cut out time for, first off, all different kinds of rest. This is the message that's really coming through, is like there's so many different kinds of rest. There's mental, there's emotional, there's spiritual. Yeah, there's spiritual rest. Sometimes we have moments where we have to take away and step back from doing spiritual work or being a spiritual being, right? Like we just need to be fucking human and be a little ratchet sometimes, that's a very specific message for somebody. There's physical rest. Like there is rest from like stimulation of electronics and things like that. Like the other day, I was talking about how I was recovering physically and I was bored and I needed some work to do. And my friend was like, I thought you said you were resting. Like, why do you need work to do? And I was like, no, I'm physically resting my body, but like, I don't need mental rest right now. So just consider that and understand that it's like you need to be incorporating and putting in your schedule different times for different times of rest, whether it's I turn my phone off at 7 p.m. and I give myself 12 hours of mental rest from, electronics or whatever it is. Maybe it's every Saturday for 2 hours. I do like a long meditation and nice stretch, and that's some physical rest for my body. But Spirit is really just saying, like, this season, especially because it's a busier season for you, to make sure that you're integrating in conscious times of, and this is why it's a different energy than like the Four of Swords or another card that's just telling you to like lay low. It's like encompassing all of the kinds of rest, because it's talking about like you as an entire person and as an entire being, right? Like it's not like you're doing too much, calm down. It's like we have all these different aspects of our life and all these things that we're always doing, and we have to remember that we are, this 7-part being, right? And we need to be compartmentalizing these different parts of us and working with these energies separately, and understanding that, I am not just one person. It is, again, they're asking you to even be like examining right now in this season, like look at the spiritual side of yourself, look at the emotional, look at the mental. Like they're breaking it down into like the layers of the aura and how there's like all these different parts of us. And so air signs, you're being asked to not just pause and take time to rest and understand the difference between those two, but really like they're saying like look at like those different layers of who you are as a person and remember that you are separate beings. You know, Aquarius energy is the outside of the box thinkers. I always call them the aliens of the zodiac. And you know, if the world is ending, like Aquarius energy is what's going to build us a fucking plantation to live on in fucking Mars. You know what I mean? So but remembering that you're not just that, because I feel like this air sign energy gets so wrapped up in their thoughts and their emotions and like the mental state of it that they forget that there's all these other different aspects to yourself, right? So the message for you for Aquarius season is to really be working on these different aspects, maybe tap into the different layers of your aura and do like a check-in. You know, maybe journal and write down like these different separate parts of who you are. And, you know, maybe you focus all of your energy on certain parts and other parts need more attention right now in this season. So remember, the Hanged Man energy is very much about volunteering to pause and surrender, to look at things from a different viewpoint, and to just kind of like, it's like an invitation to like reset. Okay, air signs, happy Aquarius season, happy birthday. All right, my beloved earth signs, we have Capricorn, happy belated birthday, Virgo, and my favorite Taurus. Ooh, ooh, did you guys see that on camera? She broketh the glass. That was crazy. Okay, so we, right when I said my beloved, the Taurus, you guys. Okay, we're just gonna keep on going with that one. I love that. Let's just throw a little more herbs on the fire, right? That was wild, you guys. Okay, I just love that that was on fucking camera. Woo! Felt that in my belly. So we have Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Welcome to Aquarius season. It's so funny because as soon as I like start to talk, I feel this like begrudged of like this like fighting of the energy of that is air signs and that is Aquarius, because you know the base core of earth energy is to be the opposite of that, right? It's like feet in the dirt, grounded down, logic, reasoning, root chakra, stability, structure, use your brain. And it's like you see Aquarius is like 180-degree difference of that. It's like how that energy feels for you guys right now. And here is the Hierophant, which is 2 of the 4 cards this month are major arcana cards. And it's pretty straightforward, the energy that I felt from this. And it is literally that this current season, these next few weeks, this next month, well, this sun is in the Aquarius energy, is really diving into your spiritual practices. It's not so much as to finding a new practice or anything like that. What I hear is remembering the things from the past and the practices you had and the things that made you feel like you were in alignment, and the things that set you alive, the things that sparked that Aquarius type of outside of the box, different than everybody else, alien, weirdo type energy. Those things, Spirit is saying, like, circle back to those things. Remember those things. You know, maybe you don't have any divination practices right now, but you always thought runes were really cool. Or maybe you were always really connected to like just like that Nordic magic that was like a part of you, and you thought that was super cool, and you always loved like the Nordic gods and those kind of movies and things like that. And you know that still lays dormant in you, and Spirit's saying like tap back into that for a while. You know, like there is really like a want and a call for you to connect with some spiritual practices and things from your past. And again, they're emphasizing like these are things that have always called to you, things you used to love, things that made you feel special, grounded, at home. You know, like whatever it was that called out to you, like those things are like trying to call back to you. Let's see what else. You know, there's another little aspect that is asking you to be a little less stubborn. And again, it's going back to that beginning of like how it feels like it goes against the grain, and it feels like it goes against like knowing who you are to like think of these like weird concepts and like outside of the box stuff. And, you know, like I want to say like delusional type thinking, which is not Aquarius energy, but you know, just like the things that your mind, you're like, there, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm not like, no, like that is silly. Like, I'm not going to like get down with that. But Spirit is saying like, no, like you need to, right? Like, that's what we're saying. Like, you need to trust that crazy things can happen, and trust that magical things that happen. And like, Spirit is saying like, just for a short amount of time, like let the logic and reasoning go. Like, really, like, let it go. I am a huge follower of Abraham Hicks. And it was so funny because the very first time I ever saw them speak live, ever, the first person that got in the hot seat literally got up there, and it was a trans man, and they said, I would like to grow a penis. And I was thinking about that when I went to see them speak this past weekend, and somebody got up there and they were like, I want to grow. I want to like make myself grow a few inches. And anybody outside of that room might have thought that was crazy. And a lot of people in that room probably did think, well, the law of attraction, a manifestation, our thoughts, like they can't do that, right? But I thought it was hilarious because, of course, I had just listened and thought about somebody else asking a very similar question. So then it made me circle back to myself and be like, so what are the physical aspects or ailments or things about myself that I really truly could change, and or why haven't they changed, and where are my beliefs off, right? Like, because I believe all those practices. Oh, we're getting spicy today. Damn, that one scared me. The broke again, y'all. What is happening? That's wild. I've only ever had one plate break ever, and it was when I was doing candle magic. Let me recruit my thoughts there. So like, I know that manifestation works because I've seen it happen in all different aspects of my life, right? And so where, let's say my personal example, I have issues with my stomach. Well, if I truly believe in the power of my thoughts and that even miracles can happen or crazy things could happen, right? Then like, where is the disconnect in which I'm not getting that problem solved with my thoughts? Does that make sense? Sorry, I got really distracted by that break. You know what I mean? Like, if I believe I manifested this place that I'm living right now. I manifested the life that I'm having. I manifested this person or that money or this and that. So like, the idea is like, why can't you think crazier and deeper and trust? Like, maybe you can manifest perfect eyesight. Literally. I feel like I could say the same thing 10 times over and over again. So either you received and you picked up what I was putting down, or you got just as distracted by that as I did and it didn't land with you. So we're just going to go ahead and stop there, and we're going to trust or signs that if this message was for you, that you got understanding of the message that was trying to come across, and bid you adieu. All right, water signs, fellow water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Queen of Cups. When I saw this card come out, I thought it felt like a breath of fresh air. I feel like so often water signs are misunderstood with emotions, right? And we're told we're too emotional, we're told we're too sensitive, but those are our superpowers. And first off, people forget that emotion, like anger is an emotion, joy is an emotion, optimism is emotion, right? And sensitive doesn't mean crybaby. Okay, sensitive means that like you feel emotions deeply. You pick up on energy and things that are happening. You connect with other people very easily. You're hyper aware of physical things happening, not just in your body, but around you. Like, we need to just like, I study the Enneagram, and they call some of the numbers the aggressive stance. And I think they should be called the assertive stance, because aggression and assertiveness are very different things. They are similar underlying energy, but they are not the same, right? Assertiveness is choosing yourself, standing up for yourself. Aggressiveness, that implies that we don't care about the feelings of other people, right? So there's just a big misconception about water sign energy in general. So I don't know if somebody needed that kind of validation or what, or maybe that's just a way that you need it understood so you could speak it over other people. But like, I have no shame in being extremely sensitive, because again, it is one of the superpowers I have, and it is what makes me who I am. Many years ago, I remember telling my therapist, I wish I didn't feel things so deeply, and it was one of the few times she looked at me in a way that said enough in the way that she looked. I didn't need words, but it was like, Carolyn, like, that is, your heart is who makes you so great. It is what makes you literally who you are. Don't you ever dare wish those feelings away. And this is spoken over me by there's a reader that I've gotten a reading from 2 times this year, and it was both by divine intervention and just the most beautiful messages passed on. And it came through this message both times. Was this idea of, this sensitivity, I'm going to word it like this for the understanding for the collective, the sensitivity and the emotions and the feeling being both a blessing and a curse, and how we have to change our mindset around it, and we have to embrace it as both, right? And sometimes, yes, it does feel painful, and we do wish that we could turn it off, but you have to think about like how lucky we are that we can understand life and people and experiences and spirit on such a different profound level that other people won't get. And it's okay that other people don't get it and other people don't understand it. And you don't have to justify your feelings or your emotions or your sensitivities or your gifts or any of those things to anybody else. There are so many people out there that see you just as a ray of fucking sunshine that lights up the room, and they see how big your heart is, and they know you, and those are the only people that you need to worry about. Those are the only people that you need to think about. That's it. You let that heart shine. You wear that heart on your sleeve. You be that person with discernment and with boundaries to make sure that you're protected. But don't shun who you are. Don't put down who you are. Don't not lead with that heart if that's who you are. Don't show up as a big lover girl or a lover boy and take up space in a room. The people you don't understand, the real authentic people in your life and the people that matter and people that will never tell you, they see that about you. And that is who you are, and you own every aspect of that, and you love it, and fuck anybody else, right? And we all have our downfalls, and we all have our moments, and sometimes we get, we react instead of respond, and we might get carried away, or we might get too invested, and we just take a moment, we honor those feelings, we recognize them, and then we reset, and we go back. And there's no shame in caring too much, there's no shame in loving too much. As long as you reel it in and reset your boundaries, and you know where you stand, and you're good in your heart, and you're good with spirit, that's all that matters. And it's just such a beautiful way to feel this. And it's so funny how the different comes through different than the other cards I just read. And it's like, the Queen of Cups is one of the cards that really represents like the true heart of water energy. And it's like right now, it's like you're being given permission, and spirit is just giving you permission to be that person. And if you want to give love and give affection and do all these things, like, be that person. I promise you, if you accept those parts of you, and you really open up and you give it out, there are people who will receive it and people who will match you. But unless you are your authentic self and with no shame, then energy is not going to find you, right? So I just keep hearing like, you're such a lover girl and lover boy, and just like, let it fucking rip. For real. And anybody that's triggered by that or wants to say anything like that, that's their own issues. I'll end with this. Nothing makes me cringe more on the internet when I see men shaming other men for being simps. Because shouldn't every romantic relationship, shouldn't that be how you feel about your partner? Shouldn't partners, men, women, men, women, whatever you want to do, any romantic relationship, shouldn't both partners be loving and adoring and simping and obsessed with each other? Why isn't that the dream for all relationships? So why would we be shaming that? Why on earth would we be shaming that? Because if you want, as a man, if you want the love of a queen, you better treat her like that, right? And as a woman, when a man is treating you like that and you're receiving that and loving them back, that's equal, right? And again, this goes for same-sex relationships, right? So yeah, I love you, water signs, Capricorn, or just kidding, or Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. You know what I did there? I always start with Cancer, and I was trying not to. So I love you, water signs, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. All right, fire signs. We have Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So your energy for Aquarius season is Ace of Pentacles. So reminder, the aces are about new beginnings, and pentacles are about things of the earth and monetary things and physical things, right? So home, stability, job. I'm even getting like a sense of like a relationship, but even more not like necessarily romantic, but like connections, like people and community and things like that. So the energy for you right now is, honestly, it's kind of like there's a little bit of resistance in just like allowing things to flow in a natural way, because you want things to move. I've spoken this over before. This energy of letting things move too fast or not letting things simmer, it's like, I'm getting this analogy of like, some energy will sit and watch the egg boil, and they're like, buck, and they're just like watching the egg boil. You turn on the water, put the egg in, and in 30 seconds, the egg's not done, and you're like, fuck this shit, and we turn around and walk away. It's like, no, no, like there, that's not how it works, right? Like, just if you're fucking patient for like 10 minutes, it will be a perfect A. You know what I mean? But like, you can't, like, hello, like, I love that example actually, right? And so, Spirit is literally saying, like, just chill, let go, and allow all these great new beginnings. Like, it's like trying to hand you this, right? It's trying to hand you this beautiful opportunities, this sunshine, this joy, these adventures, these moments with people to learn, these connections. And it's not just the stereotypical, like, fire energy and moving forward. There's so many other aspects of why you're not allowing this. And Spirit is literally like, take a fucking chill pill. Watch a fucking weird ass sci-fi movie with some weird junk food and with your nerdy friend who's going to give you the entire digest of the movie and the history, and just like look at them and be like, fuck, that was kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like, they're wanting you to, spend some time with people and friends, and maybe it's like a cousin or a little, maybe you're older and you have like a smaller sibling, and it's like, just like they're saying, like, observe these other people in your life and just like take them in and see how they do things, and allow yourself to like be with other people and their energy at their flow and how they do things, and you'll kind of be like, that's pretty cool, or that's pretty fun, I really like that, like, the world is around, you're just surrounded with so many possibilities and so many promises right now, and there is so much that's like ready and like there for you for the taking, and so you have to go out and embrace it, right? I had this thought the other day of I live away from my hometown in the wintertime, and I used to try to force myself to go out and work at a coffee shop or go do this and that because I want to meet somebody, right? Like, I opened up to the energy of like actually wanting to meet like a real partner in the last year. So I was like, okay, like, I need to go like put myself out there and do all of these things. And I realize, and the same thing happens every year when I'm here just in general, is like, what actually brings me joy on a daily basis is what is more important for me to call that, like, lover in, if you will, right? So I'm just going to use myself as an example. The other day, I was like, you should get dressed and go up to the coffee shop and work. Put yourself in a place where, you can be seen and you can meet and you have the potential, right? And I thought, you know what? I'm in this beautiful backyard with this beautiful pool and greenery and palm trees, and I don't want to fucking get dressed and go to the goddamn coffee shop. I want to sit right here by this fucking pool in the sunshine in what I slept in and do work. And that's what feels good to me. And that's what matters, right? Because if I do what feels good to me, then I'm in alignment with my higher self. And then when I go to the gym, oh, look at that. I'm in perfect alignment and two beautiful men talk to me. That's not forcing it. That's going with what's natural and what feels good, right? And allowing myself to observe that about myself, versus if I had forced myself to go someplace because I thought, oh, I need to be out here to be seen or else nobody's going to be able to meet me to talk, that whole idea of like, oh, how do you meet your lover or your husband or wife if you're like never leaving the house? Well, that's how you get in perfect alignment with the feelings of feeling good. And then when you fucking go out, even to the grocery store or the gas station, you're shining so bright, you're in alignment, that opportunity is being presented to you and it's going to be right fucking there. So you can't force things. If it doesn't feel good, it's not going to fucking work, right? Like, that's the message, right? If it doesn't feel good, it's not going to work. So it has to feel good. And you try to, fit a square peg into a round hole over and over again, and it's just not fucking working. It's not fucking working. But you have so much greatness ready to be like, it's like your vortex is so full of things. That's Abraham Hicks talk. And, it's just waiting for you to release the resistance and take a chill pill and let all these great things come to you. Fire sign, Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, Alaya. Friends, I hope you have a wonderful Aquarius season. Make sure to check out the January readings, and then obviously the February readings will be coming up soon too if they're not already posted. And please like, subscribe, share, all the things. Bye-bye.